Talk a little soccer with our next guest. Christen Press joins us here on the program. She's a member of the United States Women's National Soccer Team, and she joins us here on 3 and Out. Christen, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, fine, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on the program. And first off, talk about juggling the travel schedules and times being in a club team and with the U.S. team and just being in multiple places within a matter of days and weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy lifestyle. We fly back and forth between our NWSL schedules and the United States national team programming. We've been doing it for a little while now, but it's always a little crazy moving in and out of a hotel and getting your body right, recovering, and then back out on the pitch.
Hey, Christen, this is BJ Bennett. Coming out of Stanford, you're very, very accomplished. I believe the all-time goal scorer there in Stanford history. What was the transition like from being a collegiate player to now where you are with the club soccer, the national team soccer, and kind of all the responsibilities that come with that?
Yeah, I think it's been a journey, and every step of the way I've picked things up from the players I've been with and the coaches, and just trying to develop and continue to push my game to the limits. Stanford gave me a great base for being a professional athlete because it was a really high-level team, great coach, great resources. So it kind of propelled me into the next stage, and I've been playing for professional teams for 4 years, both in the United States and abroad in Europe, and just trying to kind of find the balance between different styles of soccer and different attitudes towards playing to just, try to become the best player I can be so I can represent my country at the highest level.
Hey, Christen, this is Matt Osborne, and many people think back to the 1999 Women's World Cup team for the U.S., which really helped generate a lot of traction, a lot of interest in the sport. What do you recall about watching that team, and did that really help spur your interest in the game?
Yeah, I was there in the finals of that 99 World Cup, with my face painted at the 50-yard line with my family. So I that's a huge help for our country with women's soccer, and for me personally as well. I absolutely one of those players at camps being, Julie Fowley and all. Amazed by them, and I think that the sport that are received from the outstanding.
Christen, we're having a little phone problem here. Can we give you a shout back here in just a little bit and try to establish that phone line, or call us back here in about 30 more seconds or so? We can try to get that phone line situation cleared up here in just a little bit. So we'll try to get her back here with us on the program, but I just having a little problems with the phone line there. But yeah, a unique situation. Goes to Stanford, gets a part of the national team program, has come in and had some success in the Women's World Cup, obviously building off the momentum of the World Cup just completed, is coming in 2015 in Canada. So I'll be interested to hear her thoughts on that as well. She's also part of a unique event we'll let her tell you about, but some good stuff there.
Yeah, special promotion with Wheaties, which I'm interested to hear about. But no, Matt asked a good question, and the growth of United States soccer, we talked about it, Kevin, a little bit on the men's side with the World Cup and the U.S. advancing to the knockout stage, but the women's team has been very, very competitive for years, and I think that 99 World Cup team with Mia Hamm and Brandy Chastain and some of those athletes, you saw girls all around the country say, hey, I can be on that level, I want to be there. And Christen, one of the top players in the country, she's the all-time goal scorer at Stanford, which even if you're just kind of a casual sports fan, Stanford, North Carolina, Duke, some of those schools, the elite of the elite college soccer. So very interested to hear her story and the promotion. She can get into it, but I believe she's in a competition to be on the next Wheaties cereal box cover, and she's in competition with a number of other folks. She's the only female, and I think with what she's accomplished and what's ahead for her, certainly someone worth learning a little more about. And you're right, the U.S. World Cup for the women's national team coming up in 2015.
Yeah, I believe we have Christen back here with us. Christen, appreciate you coming back and re-hooking up with us here on the show. But talk about your time being with the national team and what it's like being a part of that program coming off the heels of a World Cup down in Brazil, and obviously there will be the Women's World Cup coming up in 2015 in Canada.
Yeah, I think that there's a ton of excitement here in the U.S. around football and around soccer. So coming off the Men's World Cup, we just saw a tremendous amount of support. And we're so excited now going into our World Cup year, now that soccer is kind of breaking through in this country and people are really rallying around us. I think that the nature of the World Cup, it's kind of a shooting star in sports. It's so much fun. It's 1 month long, and people can really just, embrace their country and really enjoy that month of soccer. So we're hoping that we can see some support that we saw this summer for the men.
And Christen, you mentioned soccer becoming more popular in the United States, and I think that's evident every day. But you look at the men's team, what they were able to do in the World Cup, what they've done in recent World Cups, and Matt asked you about the 99 Women's World Cup team. When you look at soccer here in the U.S., is the game of women's soccer maybe even a little more widespread or advanced than men's soccer when you look at what the national team has accomplished and professional leagues popping up now? Kind of assess the status of where women's soccer is in our country.
Yeah, I think, of course, we have our own sport. We have our own game. We're not really chasing the men in terms of style or pace or anything like that. We've kind of created our own little brand, especially with the U.S. Women's National Team. But I think that if you look at it on the world stage, we have had a tremendous amount of success in, the last couple decades, and we've been on top. So it's a totally different starting point from where the men are. They're growing and they're going upward. And we are defending our titles and trying to keep that number one ranking and, win the World Cup, win the Olympics. It's sort of, for us, the perspective and the goal is if you didn't win, it's not enough. So we're going for the whole thing, and I think that puts us in a very interesting and unique place coming in and preparing for a World Cup. But it's exciting, and I think that we're all looking forward to the opportunity that is right ahead of us.
At the club level, you've played in the United States. You've also played overseas. How would you compare the interest in women's soccer nationally and going across the pond?
I think that if you look at the United States Women's National Team, it's almost it's a completely unique situation with the amount of support that we see from the fans that we have. I think that playing overseas, it's kind of a different type of support where people have grown up with soccer. It's their number one sport. Everyone in the country knows how it's played and all the rules, and so the sport is loved more itself. But there's definitely a huge discrepancy between the men's and the women's game. And here in the U.S., we kind of have our own little niche within the U.S. Women's National Team that, people have grown with our team and learned to love our team and everything like that. But the majority of the country hasn't always been a soccer fan, and it's growing, and kind of we have a new market here.
Christen Press joining us here on 3 Now, the Southern Pigskin Radio Network. And Christen, I understand you have a opportunity to do something kind of unique that obviously not a lot of people get to do, and that's potentially be on the cover of the Wheaties box. Tell us about that and the competition you're involved in for that.
Yeah, in the last few months, Wheaties has launched this campaign called Wheaties Next, and it gives America the opportunity to choose the next athlete that will be on the cover of their cereal box. So if you want to join the cause, you can go to the Wheaties Next Challenge online, and you get to select whatever athlete that you would like and vote for them. And you vote for them by logging your workouts onto MyFitness right there on the website. And every time you work out, it casts a vote for your athlete of choice. And the competition ends August 31st.
And Chris, I understand you are the only female up for vote. Is that correct?
Yeah, I am. I think it's a huge honor to be on the Wheaties box, and I think just to be in this competition. I've been looking at the athletes on the box for a long time, so I am the only female athlete. Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing how that competition shapes up. Christen Press has been our guest. Christen, we appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Christen Press joining us here on the United States Women's National Team, and a chance to be